Alrighty, welcome to part 2 of 12 months of owning this bike, and previous one I talked about what I changed on the bike and that sort of thing. This time I'm going to talk about my gear that comes along with the bike and the stuff that I've been using for the past 12 months. But in the last video I forgot to talk about 2 things that I changed on the bike, and that's the bark busters on the handguards. So the original ones are just like little flimsy bits of plastic and they bend when you sort of lay the bike over. Didn't think they were strong enough, so went with bark busters. And also the windshield. So I've got the WRS shorter windshield on this one, mainly because like at high speed with the original one, I'm 6'2", but you got like this crazy head bobble. This has stopped that, so it's pretty good in that regard. You can get ones a little bit shorter, but I like this one because it still looks factory, still had like the factory markings on it. So that's worked out well. So this episode here we're going to talk about pretty much all my camping gear, my luggage, racks, that sort of thing, and what I'm going to look at possibly changing, and for a very good reason, for the upcoming trip. So what we'll do now is we'll just go for a little cruise on the way home. People have asked for like a ride by. I'll put the camera up and then do a ride by. They want to hear the exhaust, so we'll do that. I'm just going to find a bit of road that's private road. Okay, so no one go cracking it because it's a private road. Alrighty, here we are at a nice private road. So let's do a little flyby. As you can see there, it says private road. Alrighty, so just got back from a ride. It's like 30 degrees outside, so all sweaty, but it's a good indication of this suit as well, which I'm just about to talk about, so then I can go take it off and talk about the rest of the stuff. So had this about as long as I've had the bike, the past 12 months. I really like the build and everything of this suit. A few little issues though. For my size, these around here are on the biggest they can go. It's just a little bit tight. The build quality of this is really, really good. So I bought the jacket first, had my other pants, and then when I decided to go to Cape York, got the pants for a little bit more protection and that sort of thing. So you got all the air vents, so that's all good air vent wise, let some air in when you're riding the bike. When you're riding the bike, this suit is fine, even though it's black, sort of absorbs the heat in the sun a little bit. It's fine, nice and cool. It can be 20, 25, 30 degrees riding the bike, and it's all good. It's when you stop, like now. So I've stopped, I've come into my shed, and yeah, just starting to cook. So I really like this jacket. Both the pants and the jacket came with like a rain liner and like a warm liner inside. I've never used them. It's just, this is fine. Like I've got a little bit damp inside because of the zip and that sort of thing. Just the rain going in, but I've never been fully drenched underneath, so I haven't bothered to put the rain liner in, and especially the warm liner, because it's just too hot. It's sort of not needed in Australia, put it that way. All right, so I really like the jacket, and then I went and bought the pants. I have a bit of an issue with the pants in that you have to keep hoofing them up unless you zip them to the jacket. If you zip them to the jacket, then you pretty much have to put the whole thing on in a big onesie, and it's annoying. I'd rather 2 separate things. So I am looking at getting another different pair of pants that just fit a little bit better. If I've sort of sent this through to Revit as well, but they never responded. I've had pants in the past, even my work pants. They have adjustable knee pockets. Like at the moment, that's the knee guard. My knee's here. That's the knee guard there. So you can sort of like hoof them up a bit to get them in the right spot, but the crutch is too short, so you can't really get it in the right spot. Other pants that I've had have an adjustable knee slot, so you got like a little cord here, you can pull it up and it pulls it in position and you can lock it in. That would be ideal on these sorts of pants. You'd probably say, oh, why didn't you go for a smaller pair? I couldn't because of the length of the leg, the inseam. That's what I measured it off. And if I went shorter, they just wouldn't have fit, especially the crutch area and that sort of thing. So design-wise for the pants, I'm not a fan. Jacket, I really like. Yeah, they go together. So yeah, so I wouldn't mind, keeping the jacket, get another set of pants, and then you could just take it all off, especially if I have to work on the bike. If I got a puncher or something like that and I'm all zipped up as a onesie, oh, that thing is coming off and I'm working in my jocks to change a puncher. I'm not keeping this on, that's for sure, especially not in this heat. All right, so before we get too involved with the rest of it, what's going on? I'm gonna get out of this because I'm cooking. Alrighty, out of that suit, it is cooking. Starting to heat up in the shed here, but we will carry on. Start from the top down. So if you've been watching my videos for a while, you would have heard me talk about this helmet. All right, so this is the Arai XD4, been around for a long time, very, very common helmet in the adventure riding scene. It's comfortable, but that's about as far as we're gonna go with this helmet. So I've had this helmet 12 months now. Few problems, which a lot of people don't want to talk about. And I can't be the only one that has this issue. So wind noise in this helmet is absolutely atrocious. Like, you see all the issues I've had with the cameras. We'll get to that in a second. All right, let's start off with this visor. All the brackets have cracked multiple times. I've had to glue them up. The actual visor itself doesn't want to sit properly unless you give it a really good click in. It's warped somehow. It does come with a pin lock for the visor as well when you first get it. I've never been able to get it to fit properly. It's just, it never wants to click in properly. So you have to constantly check that you don't have it just sitting there, because you hear this like crazy whistle coming through and you literally have to get your whole hand on it and push it down. There you go. And it clicks in. That's my issue with the helmet, compared to my previous helmet where quality was just a little bit better. All right, coming down, the camera attached to this helmet. So I did have the DJI Action 3, really good camera. Everything works great on that camera, except for the audio. No matter what camera I've tried, you can check out my videos, I've got a big thing on it. Tested them all out. The GoPro is the only one that you can actually hear me talk while wearing this helmet on the motorbike. It's so frustrating because I hate this camera so much. This is the worst action camera that's ever been built. And GoPro just keep going further and further downhill. They're falling behind all the other companies, except in the audio department. That's the problem. So if I was to replace the helmet, I could go back to the Action 3 and hopefully that's enough. But the problem I've got at the moment, this camera here, I can't trust it. The battery just doesn't last very long. It's a nightmare to change the batteries due to this system, which I've talked about previously. I have to still carry the other camera with me. So on the bike, I've got a 360 camera, normally the Action 3 in my pocket or in the bag, just depending what's going on. And then all the batteries to suit and cables, that sort of thing. A lot of the cables intertwine because they are USB-C. But this camera here, I can't use my phone to then hook up to a USB hard drive to change between them, which I can with the Action 3. So trying to save off information at the end of the day, I pretty much just have to put new SD cards in because it's just too slow via wireless. It's sitting there forever. So that is a big downfall on this for long distance travel and that sort of thing. All right, it's enough of that. Otherwise this is gonna upset me. But yeah, I'm thinking new helmet before the next trip. Let's look at the layout of how I travel. I don't have anything really screwed down or tied down on the bike, mainly because it's all coming off in a second anyway. So this is mainly how I would travel. I've got the Enduristan Blizzard XL saddlebags, the Krieger US 40. It's a compressible bag. You can go down to like 20 litres and out to 40. I quite like that one. And then Here I would normally have my tripod for the camera, which is there now on a different tripod, and drone. The drone normally sits in between the bags. It depends if I'm taking this camera or not. So this camera normally sits in one of the panniers, and we'll get to that in a little bit. All right, so if we start going into what I would normally take. Now, technically, you don't need any of this. You can just have your little spare kit. Well, you don't even need your spares, really. As long as you got your wallet and lots of cash, there you go. Motel camp, the whole way. Okay, so now you've decided you want to go out bush. What do you need when you go out bush? Alrighty, so as long as I've got enough things to fix the bike, so in case I get a flat, a couple of spare fuses, that sort of thing, I'll normally carry mobile phone and Garmin InReach on my body, like on my jacket and sort of thing. So in case of emergency, that sort of thing's covered. So you want to go out, spend a couple of nights in the bush, in the desert, whatever. The only things you really need are to be able to keep dry and keep warm. Bam, there we go right there, bivvy bag. What's a bivvy bag? So a bivvy bag is essentially a one-person tent that more resembles a body bag than anything else. But this will keep you dry, it will keep you warm, it will save your life. Is it comfortable? No, not at all. It's essentially just a piece of material that's going to keep the bugs off you, keep the rain off you, and keep you warm. It's got like a one-way membrane, so your heat and water can dispel out and water can't get in. Yeah. So essentially, to survive, that is all you need. But you want to be comfortable. All right, that's where we need to start taking a few other things into consideration. So if I wasn't filming anything, I could cut this way, way down. So there goes the drone, there goes the tripod, there goes half the crap in the panniers because it's all batteries and things to charge batteries and cables to hook to the bike to charge the batteries and yeah. Oh, another thing, long distance touring. If you don't have one, get one. Fuel bladder. Haven't had to use this one yet, but guarantee I will be using it on the next trip as a more of a just in case scenario. And it's more if one of the roadhouses isn't open in time. All right, that can be strapped anywhere on the bike. All right, so normally I'd have these panniers strapped down with their own straps, and then I'll throw this around each pannier. I've got one for each pannier and one for around the back. What is it? Thanks for asking. So you can see here, just goes through. You pull it tight around your bags, push it down, lock it off. This is a steel core strap. So it has a stainless steel cable going all the way down. So if you try and cut through it, you can't. You pretty much need bolt cutters to get through it. And I have them normally around the bags to keep them secure. Do they work? Yes. I have had people try and break into the bike, they got these off and all this off, but because I had the secure strap on, they couldn't undo the bags to get in. They didn't have a knife on them, otherwise they would have just cut the bags and off you go. So if you're like me and like traveling around solo, soft pannier bags can be a bit of an issue for that, so a secure strap can come in handy. So what do I have in these bags? All right, so mainly up the back here is where I keep all my sleeping stuff, my tent, just all in that one bag, all out of the way. So if we go into it, I'll bring you around and zoom in. Okay, so in the back here, underneath the top little lid, that's all the tent poles and tent pegs. That's it for the tent side of things. In the top bit, undo this side. Okay, so this is a Sea to Summit quilt. I'm not a big fan of sleeping bags being all tight, and sleeping bags are a lot bulkier. Especially, you can get like summer sleeping bags and that, which obviously are smaller than this. I do have them, but once you get up into the high country, in the middle of the desert, you have to take something warm with you because it can get freezing even in the middle of summer, which a lot of people forget about. All right, this is just me being lazy. That's a little flex tail air pump, USB-C rechargeable to pump up the air mattress. Also good for helping start fires, in that they're good for helping start your campfire, not fires in general. Nemo Tensor air mattress, nice and compact. That's actually really good. Have slept on sort of a prickly area as well, and it didn't pop, which was super lucky. That is a Thermarest pillow. Might be changing that one out. We'll have to look at that. It's all good when you first get on it, and then it compacts down to nothing after about half an hour of laying on it. Helinox chair. If you haven't seen these are a bit of a lifesaver. I didn't really use this. I took it to Cape York, but didn't really use it because I was riding, set the tent up and laid down in the tent, woke up, packed everything up, and I was off again. So if people have never seen these put together, oh, bag's fallen. These are actually fairly quick to put together. Everything just sort of slots in, off you go. And it can take my weight, so that's handy, even though I am losing weight. And then the top, we're not doing a full demo here, but just show you how quick it is. It's actually slow at the moment too. There, chair done, good to go. And the last thing in here, oh no, also keep, that's my rain pants. Okay, and tent. So Marmot, tungsten, 2-person tent, compressors right down. I may have to look at getting another bag because I did rip this one last time. Mainly because I had to pack it away wet and I was like pushing it in to get it in and it just ripped. This tent's been really, really good. Can't recommend it enough. Super quick to put up as well. All right, so that's everything in that back one there. All right, let's get into the panniers. A few things vary on where I put them. I think I've only got the basics in here at the moment. All right, so with all the junk that I have to charge, this is my sort of battery bank. It's also a jump pack as well, so it has the clips to jump the bike or someone else's bike if I need to. So it's a little bit bulky, but it's good for that reason. I normally keep that in my jacket, just a little tool thing. Tubeless repair kit for these. Spare 21-inch tube. Emergency, I can put it in the rear and in the front if I can't fix it. Tubeless. Spare cable ties. Just some epoxy putty and extension charger for the cigarette lighter underneath the seat. And you're probably wondering, why don't I have these in little bags and that sort of thing? That's a good question. So as you can see here, this looks like a hockey puck. I have tried putting things in bags. You just can't fit them in properly because it just has to sort of sit in individually, which is a little bit of a downfall of these, even though they're nice and compact and they sort of sit on the bike really well. All right, trail stand. This made out of a pair of crutches. I do have 2 pairs of crutches, so if anyone wants one of these made up, let me know. 2 sets I can give away. Can't go anywhere without your titanium spork. The little toolkit, nice Weira one. Pretty much has everything I need on this bike to get it apart. Well, that and a Leatherman, which is in here somewhere. Eastbound tyre levers and wheel removal. So those 3 packets. And in here I have spare fuses, actual plugs for the tires to actually take the whole tire off and plug them up properly, all in there as well. All right, the other side. That's one problem I've found with this. If you take everything out of one saddlebag, it doesn't balance properly. All right, so a good thing to have is chain lube if you're going on a big distance. So I just have a little one in there as emergencies. And every 500 Ks, give it a bit of a squirt. You've got to take your Stanley with you. Your Stanley is very popular at the moment. This is the only Stanley you should buy. Don't worry about that other crap. Stainless steel. All right, it's inside. You get 2 of them, bam. There's your drink sorted. There you can boil your water. The cook set that I use, a couple of different things here. So we have the base, which you've probably seen before. These are like, $5 to $10 off eBay, that sort of thing. And then the actual burner that sits on top, that way. Not gonna screw it all together. The reason why I've gone for this instead of just the burner and then you screw onto the round flat style gas bottles is because you can get these gas bottles anywhere. So these are little standard butane ones. They're a lot cheaper than ones you get from the camping store. And if you're in the middle of nowhere, any supermarket actually stocks these. So it's a little bit bigger to pack this, but these bottles, nice and skinny, they can sort of fit anywhere rather than the flat round ones. Just makes life a little bit easier out on the road with this stuff. Then we have a little electronics box, just a couple of little camera adapters, sort of thing. Leatherman, because if you don't have some sort of multi-tool, what are you doing? Because that pretty much can save your life. Baby wipes, can get smaller packets than that. That's just what I had at the time, because you still need to keep clean and need to keep things clean. So no matter where I'm going, even if it's just overnight, I'll still take a dehydrated meal, just in case, something happens, you get stuck. Good thing about that is you only need half a litre of water and cook it up and good to go. Basic toiletries, toothbrush, toothpaste, some shower gel. That's a small medical pack that I keep in here. I do keep a bigger medical pack in my Camelback that's on me at all times. Just a GoPro tripod. And then down the bottom here in a stuff sack, just have my clothes and towel. Normally I'll take a pair of shorts, a pair of tracky pants, fleecy top. They're not in there at the moment, but that's why there's a little bit more room in that saddlebag. Okay, so that's pretty much my setup that I've had for the past 12 months on this bike. As with everything, you learn to like things, you learn to understand what could go better. Security-wise on this bike, with the current setup and being more of a solo traveler, that's my main concern with that at the moment. With the soft panniers, having to have the secure straps, it's good if you're with the bike all the time. A couple of downsides though, if I wanted to get my camera out, so I pull off to the side of the road, have to undo the secure straps, undo the soft panniers, get the camera out, set it up because I've had to break it down just to fit it in the bike. That's been a bit of an issue, so I'm more like, nah, I'm not going to stop and do it. Whereas I probably should have, because there's been a few instances where I could have got some really good shots. I've been too lazy because of the pain in the bum it is to try and set it up. So for the next trip, the soft panniers and these do have to go. I have to get some proper pannier racks and hard cases. Haven't fully decided on the hard cases yet. The ones that I'm looking at aren't out till possibly a couple of weeks before I set off, and that's probably cutting it fine a little bit too much. Now, I know what everyone's going to say. You know, if you fall off, the hard panniers can get trapped under your legs, and you can lose your leg, and yeah, you just have to take that risk. Now, if I was going like through the Simpson Desert, constant sandy tracks, or even some harder tracks in the high country, there is no way I'll be putting hard panniers on this bike. I'll be staying with the soft panniers. Like, I'm keeping these, I'm not going to get rid of these. I really like these panniers for that purpose of going to those sorts of areas. But for this next trip, which is mainly, let's say, main roads, even though a lot of it's gravel and ungraded and corrugated and that sort of thing, there's still a main road. So I'm going to risk it in putting hard panniers on this bike for that trip. A lot of the areas I'm going to are remote. I don't know if I'll be able to be around the bike all the time, so just having that extra security of them being able to lock the actual boxes just makes things a little bit better. Yeah. Another thing is, like, I want to carry a bit more camera gear for this next trip as well. And with the soft panniers, as I found out with the camera that you're watching this through now, the last time I dropped the bike, I had the audio cable still connected into the camera, and when it fell over, the audio cable bent up and completely destroyed all the audio ports inside the camera. So close to $600 later, I've now got the camera back just to fix an audio port. I don't really want to go through that again because that was, yeah, a bit of a nightmare. Yeah, all right, so that's the current setup. A few things I have to get sorted now. I'll need to change the sprockets and the chain and change the racks. I do have the racks. The racks came yesterday, so I can put them on. I don't have the panniers yet, and I'm waiting on another bracket. I'm still looking at whether to get the suspension done before I go. It's not bad. Like, I did Cape York on this. Yeah, it's either suspension or a layout for a new helmet and some pants, which I'm sort of inclined to go the helmet and pants route at the moment because audio will be better, hopefully, in the helmet. I'll have to do, obviously, testing with the other cameras and stuff before I go. Oh, one thing I do need to do before I go is to find some cooler gloves, so not as in cooler looks-wise, but ones that let a bit more air through. The ones that I've got are a Dainese sort of mid-range setup, but they're the only ones I could find that have a touch-sensitive thing in the middle for my size. So I'm normally a 4 or 5 XL in my hands. Yeah, trying to find them in a local shop, it just doesn't happen. So I have to order them online and then go, yeah, they don't fit, send them back. So it's a bit of stuffing around. The reason why I want the touch-sensitive ones for electronics is because I forget to put GPS tracks in and set them off before I put my gloves on. And then I get on the bike and go, oh, I better do that. So that's just more of a laziness thing for me, and that's why I want touch-sensitive things in case I do forget before I've put my helmet on and gloved up and gone, where am I going? But that's my problem, not yours. I'll find them. They will exist somewhere. Yeah, got to find a company that has them in stock. So I hope you enjoyed that one. Just a quick look into the last 12 months of what I carry on the bike. All right, so hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you in the next one.